What's up? Welcome into the Funshop podcast with Greg and Ronnie. We are streaming to you live from Los Angeles, California. What's up, Greg? How you feeling today?
What's up, Ronnie? I'm doing all right, man. You know, just another day.
Another day, another Wednesday afternoon in the Fun Shop.
In the Fun Shop, yeah.
All right. Let's get started here. Let's get started. I'm like, let's get started by turning off.
You're a little nervous today from our guest.
I'm just making sure that everything's firing on the, everything's fired up and I'm pressing the right buttons and nothing's messed up. But you feeling all right?
Yeah.
Reviewing the weekend.
Yeah, I had a pretty chill weekend. What did I do on Saturday? I barely remember what I did like.
Well, things have been kind of slowing down a little bit, right? So it's kind of relaxing.
Well, I'm also like getting ready for the Rare Book Fair in a couple weeks over at Union Station. So I've been saving stuff, over the year that I found. And so I'm just trying now to dig it all out because it's like I'm not the most organized. So, just trying to get things sorted out. So I'm going to start posting some previews on the Greg's Fun Shop.
Okay. That's coming up this weekend?
No, it's next weekend.
Oh, the last weekend of September.
No, it's the first weekend of October.
Oh, okay.
And it's really cool because I think I told you too, like Guillermo del Toro has been a patron to the fair for a number of years. And so this year they're tying in his new Frankenstein movie that's coming out on Netflix. So I think on Thursday night there's like a special like event where you can I don't know if you it's like a preview, but like Guillermo del Toro is going to be there and he's going to talk about his movie and stuff like that. And I don't know what else is going on, but Netflix is somewhat involved. So like I know for instance Jen who runs the show, her and her husband Brad, they just posted today there was some like small artist that had made these little books about Frankenstein, and I think she like bought them all, and then they're setting up some kind of machine that like a machine that you could dispense the books from.
Yeah, like a little vending machine.
Like a little vending machine.
Okay,
so
neat.
Yeah.
Refresh my memory. Who's like the big actor in that Frankenstein movie? Do they have like A-listers? Like
I don't know. I haven't looked up.
All right, it's okay.
Yet.
We'll look at it's I thought maybe but it's
no.
It's
Frankenstein.
okay. It's neither here nor there.
I hate when people are like, Frankenstein's the doctor, not the monster. It's like, no, if I want to call the monster Frankenstein, I will.
Yeah. That's like I saw the meme recently. The soda's not Dr. Pepper. It's Dr. Pepper's Monster is what the soda's called.
Oh.
Whatever. Let me see. My weekend was kind of slow too. Just did the normal Sunday hunt. We did Long Beach for a little bit.
Yeah, I saw you at Long Beach. For a few.
Nothing crazy there.
No, it was kind of a weird Sunday. I got
not
like everybody
there.
There's not a whole lot of people there. Like the usual people were like, "Did you find?" Because like everyone always asks, like, "Oh, did you find anything good? Did you find anything good?" And there's a little bit of poker face. Like you don't want to tell like all yours, but usually people will say, "Yeah, I found some good things," but it's like everyone was just like, "Man, there's like." It was just a slow.
It was dry.
Yeah, it was dry. I did buy that crazy. I mean, I won't go too into it, but I bought this like giant train that was an inventor model.
Choo choo, toot toot.
You take your aspirin this morning?
I took my Tylenol.
Oh, that's what I meant.
I took my Tylenol this morning.
I was joking with somebody. I was like, all I know is I'm buying some Advil stock, right?
I'm still trying to find the hydrochloroquine. Trying to buy the hydrochloroquine.
Oh, the hydrocortisone.
Yeah, for my COVID.
Oh.
Whatever. But
I was gonna make a joke, but it wouldn't be.
It's okay. We'll save it for later. But I don't know. That was kind of slow, right? So we're looking forward to this weekend. I mean, we'll talk more about it later. But this coming weekend's the LA Card Show.
Yeah, this
Dodger
weekend's
Stadium.
LA Card Show. Dollar.
Have you checked out that layout?
No,
holy cow!
Yeah, it looks crazy, and we'll be there for sure.
Woo woo.
So I got us on the VIP list. I hope
I'm pitching a tent.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be good, man. I haven't been to a card show in a while, so I'm excited just to see the vibe and check out what people are doing.
We'll give information for that, more information for that too. But the venue is obviously the legendary Dodger Stadium, so
pretty epic. I think it's the first baseball card show.
Is it a one day show or 2 day show?
Yeah, I think it's just one day,
show,
just Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, great. Cool. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
So we have our first guest. You may we can say you have seen his art if you've watched this show, because he created the Funshop logo for us.
We use for stickers and stuff. We've got one. Yeah, all of our promo stuff that you see, all of our images is Johnny's art.
Yeah, Johnny Ryan. I was looking at some art behind him, and it's 2005. That was the first time.
Let me switch over here so.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is. Say hi to our audience, Mr. Ryan.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey
now.
I was gonna go through the rundown, but I'm like, we just did it. We just told everyone where you've seen his art and where you might know him from. So why don't you give a little more of an introduction? Why do we have him on today?
Yeah, why am I here?
Yeah, why is he here today?
Well, it's our first guest, so we need somebody that knows us in case we've effed anything up. They're not gonna judge us or ruin our life.
Okay.
I mean, Johnny might, but we talked about it. So Johnny, he is, and you are I guess, do you consider yourself an illustrator, an artist in general? What do you are you just
all those things, I guess. I'm an artist.
Yeah,
artist, illustrator,
artist,
comic book artist,
smut
peddler.
I feel like
pornographer.
Johnny's been, and I guess you could talk about it, but I know that. So you have a new movie coming out. It's based on a comic book that you wrote called "Fuck My Son," and I remember I read the comic, and then originally though it was on Patreon.
Right.
So what was your whole impetus for starting Patreon, and when did you do that? And because I think that was the first story that you sold on Patreon, right?
There was one little short comic I did, a little 11 or 12 pager thing that I did before that. But yeah, this was the first. Fuck My Son was the first sort of major story that I did on Patreon, and I did it because a friend of mine, Brendan Walsh, he was doing Patreon, and he kept sort of encouraging me to do it, and I think I was resistant. I like the idea of nobody seeing the comic before it's on the shelf, and people having the whole experience of going to the store, there's the comic. So I think I was just very resistant to sort of doing a page a day and having everybody reading along for a long time, and then finally, I was just what the fuck? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to try to keep it simple. And, I need a little extra money. So it seemed like a good
And now, did you
idea.
start this during COVID? During
towards the end,
time?
towards the end of COVID.
Yeah. Because I feel like a lot of people started joining Patreon, doing those things around that time.
Yeah.
So
was that the first comic on that you did on Patreon? That was the first one.
We said you did a small one.
I did a small
okay.
one that was maybe 12 pages, but this was the first sort of major story, and I've gone on to every Patreon comic I do now is sort of a very epic adventure.
And then so if you join your Patreon, then is it every day you get a new?
Pretty much
get a new.
If I can handle it.
Right. So at least every other day.
Mostly every day, but if I miss a day, then fuck you. I don't care.
Jesus.
What am I supposed to do?
What an
Jesus
attitude.
Christ.
What an attitude that you have.
Well, it's an artist.
If you want to support your artists, you
it's true.
Kind of take it sometimes.
So I know more. I obviously know a lot because we're friends, so I'm trying to figure out the way, but I know that you. And you could, I don't know if you want to talk about this or not. I guess I'll just bring it up. But one thing you did do during COVID was you wrote a script.
Right.
And I was surprised because I never thought about you as a script writer. I know you've written for TV and done things, but I never knew that you would write a screenplay. And was that, so because I feel like that was sort of the, I think, impetus maybe even for, in some ways, if I feel like maybe you almost felt like with your new comics, you almost wanted to tell a story that could potentially be turned into a movie.
Well, I mean, I'm probably more influenced and inspired by films than I am by like comic books. And yeah, so I did do that script, which was a horror movie, and I shopped it around, and people seemed to like it, but the feedback I kept getting was just like it's too, it's good, but it's just like, this is too expensive. It'll never get made because it's too offensive. It's too gross. It's all it's all this stuff. So, and there were moments like it's like just getting very, very close to somebody doing something with it, and then of course nothing ever happens. And then when I started doing the Fuck My Son book, I was sort of approaching it from that perspective of like, I wanted, like, what would be a good horror movie? Like the last horror movie I wrote in the script form, that was a little maybe too over the top. I needed something that was a little bit more contained, a little simpler, but still, just a real, very impactful. And I started to just think about it, and then the pieces started to come together, like, being forced to have sex against your will in some capacity seemed like, a common sort of horrific situation, and then sort of like giving it the sort of twist of having this old lady forcing this woman to have sex with her really disgusting son.
Hey, no spoilers.
Yeah, I didn't know it was I didn't know it was an autobiography.
I didn't know there was a son in it. So all these things started to come together, and I just sort of started with the seed of that idea, and just kind of I started the Patreon comic, and I don't think I really knew where it was going as I went.
Because I knew that you had been shopping around your first horror script, and then I feel like all of a sudden one day you called me and we were just talking, and you were like, "Oh yeah, some guy wants to make my movie." So like, tell us, like, and the director's name is Todd.
Yeah, Todd Rohall.
Right. So tell us how that like happened. Like,
so I was sitting at home watching Maury Povich. No, so like Todd, I guess the book was published by Mansion Press, and it had just come out. Like maybe it had been out for like a month, and a buddy of mine, Calvin Reeder, who was one of the directors of the Jerk Beast movie, contacted me, and he said, "Hey, this buddy of mine he's really likes this book you just published, Fuck My Son, and he wants to do something with it. He wants to make a movie out of it. Do you want to talk to him?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I got nothing better to do." And so, yeah, I talked to Todd, and I didn't know at the time, but I had seen Todd's work before. He had done a short film called Rat Pack Rat, I think, and it was about a sick kid who was obsessed with Sammy Davis Jr., and his mom hires a Sammy Davis Jr. impersonator to come and visit him on his sick bed. And I actually thought that movie was very good and funny. And so I was like, oh, great. Like, I think we have similar sensibilities here. So that just kind of, the process just started from there. So Todd and I talked, and I told him, what I was thinking, if this was going to be made into something. And so once Todd was like, okay, we're going to do this, he took 2 months. He wrote a script. He brought it back to me, and I went over it. And at first, like, it was a little too comedic. And I was like, no, you got to play this straight. Like, these aren't jokes. These are like real people in a real situation. So he understood that, and he did another pass, and he sort of removed all that stuff. And then once the script was kind of finalized, then there was like a year of trying to raise. Todd sort of like does all this by himself. Like, he's like, very much independent filmmaker, and you know, it took him a year to sort of like raise the funds to make the movie, and then we went down.
What was the budget on this?
It had to be under. If you make a movie under, like, I think it's like
$250 or something.
$250. No, it's like if you make a movie under like $700,000 or $750,000, it's not a union, so you don't have to use you don't get involved with all the union shit.
Right.
So I think it's like somewhere below that, around that area. So
it's low budget, considered low budget.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure. But it looks. I mean, from what I've seen so far, I mean, it looks great.
So he raised the money, and then we went down to Austin, Texas in June of last year, and he filmed the whole thing over a month. Yeah. And then after that, he spent the last year all by himself, like editing the whole thing and putting it all together.
That's awesome.
Sweet. Yeah. Can't wait. I don't have a question.
So the premiere was it this? I'm so confused with like time these days. Was it last week or the weekend before last? Toronto?
I think like last week.
2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
TIFF?
You were in Toronto.
Right. Yeah. 2 weeks
and
ago.
And that was the world premiere.
So the world premiere. And I heard it had a 15-minute standing ovation.
That's all true. And it was totally success.
And how many times has it played since? I mean, has it played because this Friday at Beyondfest is the LA premiere.
Right.
The West Coast premiere.
They're saying it's the West Coast premiere.
West Coast premiere.
But so far, it's been in Toronto at TIFF. Then it just played in Fantastic Fest in Austin, Texas, and now Beyondfest. And yeah, this is like Todd's doing all this on his own. There's no distribution company, and the film is he's basically just taking it around himself and showing it around.
Yeah, it's obviously like the first thing is it's funny because. We're forced to say "fuck my son" because it's it's just the name of the movie. So,
right.
It's pretty gutsy that he just decided to keep the title as is and not try to change it to something that could be more, sellable.
Right.
It's like because obviously just seeing that word, sometime upsets people.
Yeah. It definitely, I think, is going to keep it. And I mean, I kind of relate to that as an artist. Is sort of like, I like making things that alienate people, and the fact that Todd seems to like that too. I think that makes this is a good pairing.
I heard that in China they're changing the title so it's just "Meet My Son" instead of "At My Son." Meet My Son.
MEAT, my son.
Yeah, the other alternate title was going to be Donald and Charlie. But that's just what I heard.
Vermina and Fabian.
Yeah.
Meet my son.
Meet my son.
Here comes the sun.
So I don't know how much you want to talk about it, but I think I guess you already kind of said it. So the son is this like grotesque. He just looks like a monster of sorts.
So
right?
the effects, the makeup effects,
the practical
effects were made by this gentleman, Robert Kurtzman, who did the effects on UHF and I think like some Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
All you had to say was UHF.
Yeah, you had me at UHF.
that was the one for me too. But he did Wishmaster. I think he might have directed Wishmaster.
Wow.
But and just sort of like through the 90s, basically, like all those so many great movies that had just like crazy effects in them. Mm-hmm. He did it, and to have his involvement was just like it was something I could never, like when I wrote this, I didn't think of I never thought like, oh wow, we're going to get somebody of this caliber.
Yeah, I
like
still
working
can't
on
believe it.
There's still people that like they don't believe that this exists.
Yeah,
like
this is a real movie made by real
they
people.
think this is like a joke
with like real credits and stuff. This is a real thing.
This is not a joke. This is serious.
We're giving away 2 tickets to anyone who's in Los Angeles, who's available,
or anybody wants to fly to Los Angeles.
Yeah, you can fly to Los Angeles.
Yeah, you can reach out to us,
but we don't have anybody watch. I mean,
that's why I'm just like reach out to us, whoever we see.
Well, maybe
like
someone will chat. We still have time.
The first person we see to reach out, that's like, I'm free Friday night at 10 p.m.
Yeah, at this point, it's like the first person who posts in the chat that wants to go win these tickets. Look, we had to pull a lot of strings to get these tickets for free.
Yeah,
I will pay. I will pay you like $20 to go see this movie. I'll pay you to go.
We have our tickets though. Me, Ron, and Mike Jones. We're going. So I think we're gonna dress up as the mother.
What? Ooh, I got to get my hair permed and everything.
You already have the blonde hair. So.
I'm gonna dress up as like Mrs. Doubtfire.
So, I couldn't help but notice that the mother is played by a human male actor.
What was assuming his gender?
Assuming he's a cis male.
No, I know he is, but
well, that was definitely one of the first. I guess it wasn't like an argument, but it was definitely like something that little conflict between Todd and I, which was, when I was envisioning the film, I really wanted a woman to play that role. I didn't want to Norman Bates it, make it look, just like a dude in a dress. But Todd was like, I got this guy, Robert Longstreet, he can do it. And I was very dubious. I just was like, yeah, I don't know. I'd rather, like, can't we just get a woman? Like, you never see a woman do this kind of fucked up shit. And he was like, no, I know this guy, he can do it. He can do it. So I was like, oh, all right, well, okay, we'll see. And then I was dubious up until I saw Robert in the full makeup and acting. And I was just like, this guy's fucking great. He literally was like what I had in my head. He was doing
that's
it.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And he really shines.
Because the character, the mother, is like a really just evil, nasty woman.
Right. But she's very evil and nasty, but she has
she wants her son to get fucked.
Right. She's still like a loving,
very nurturing.
She's a loving mother for this son,
right.
And she'll do whatever it takes to get him laid. And so, if you see the world from her perspective, it actually is very sweet. But from our perspective, she seems evil. But I like that. I like that sort of moral conflict that's going on.
I remember when I was like in middle school, I was in the bowling league, and there was like this young Spanish girl, like Puerto Rican. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans in there. I'm Puerto Rican anyway. And I remember we were playing, and I guess she liked me. And my mom, like, she called my house, and I was like, she's like, oh, the girl from the bowling alley's on the phone, and I'm like, Mom, I don't want to talk to her. And then she like kind of forced me.
All right.
And when I got on the phone, she had the music playing in the background. That song is like, I want to sex you up.
Shut up.
Yeah. And I was just like, I got so nervous.
How old were you?
Dude, I must have been
20.
I was like in like probably last year. I was probably like in like 7th or 8th grade. So I was like probably 12 or 13.
Okay.
And I was so scared. I think I talked for a second. I never talked to her again.
Dude, you gotta change your phone voice message to that. So whenever people call you and they don't get that, it's like, ooh. Yeah.
Girl, it's like, girl, take off all your clothes.
Yeah. Is that Color Me Bad or something?
I think it's like Color Me Bad.
Yeah, TikTok, you don't stop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
TikTok, you don't stop.
Oh,
So moms, they're supposed to help their sons.
Right.
That was the point I was
My
making.
grandmother had some people take one of my uncles to see a prostitute when he do like around 16. She's like, get him laid. Yeah, get it out of his system, or else he won't know how to handle a woman when it's supposed to count. Yeah.
Well, there was like
Chinese.
There was a Jennifer Lawrence movie that came out last year. I can't remember the name of it, but I mean that was kind of the plot, which
with her
was,
and her nephew or something.
No,
right?
it was Matthew Broderick and his wife had a son, and they wanted Jennifer Lawrence to pretend to, like the son, and then fuck the son. But it didn't really work because the son, there wasn't really anything wrong with him. Like he was a little nerdy,
He was shy, right?
Maybe a little shy, but there wasn't. He didn't seem like overly shy or like autistic or nothing. He might have been like a little annoying, but that never stopped anybody from getting laid.
A little low confidence.
Like he just
maybe.
he didn't seem like he needed the help the way that the son in Fuck My Son.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, from the comic book, it's totally disgusting, and I don't know if you've. I mean, I saw some of the photos, but I don't know if there's been any published of the monster.
No, I think Todd's like trying to keep that.
Yeah.
But
if you, the comic is, it was funny because I forgot to have Johnny bring a copy so we could just at least show you the book, but mine's at home.
They have Google.
Mine's at home, of course.
Google it.
No. Yeah, well, of course
Google
you
fuck
could
my
Google.
son.
Yeah, Google fuck my son, and then the FBI is going to show up. Cash Patel's going to be on a horse.
Put it in quotes so they know it's the title of something.
Yeah. So, or just type in "fuck my son" IMDb. Right. Internet movie
Fuck My
database.
Son, Johnny Ryan.
Yeah. Anyways,
they know how to Google. They know how to use Google.
Yeah, the book is sold out, but I mean, I know, I'm sure there's, local comic book shop might carry it. I do suggest, I mean, I'm not a big, read the book first. Like sometimes I don't really care. Like I sort of treat things like as their own thing. But if you do get an opportunity, I think it would be fun to read it first because I know some things that, totally changed, just from talking to Johnny. And I think it will be a fun, it'd be a really fun one to see how it's turned into a movie. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I just like,
I mean, I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes I think like watch the movie first and then read the book.
Oh, okay.
Cause I think they're definitely like when I saw the movie in Toronto and the midnight show and that was just a great crowd. And when she wheels the son out, for the first time.
Oh, is everyone going
and
crazy?
Everybody was just kind of like, gasping. And it was, it was very exciting. So cause like, just like not knowing where this is going. And that's the other thing I feel about the movie is that like, even if you fucking hate the movie or, you just don't like it, everybody still was just like, where's this going? Like you're still, like sometimes you start watching a movie and like 15 minutes in, you're just like, I don't even care what the fuck happens. This movie sucks. It's boring.
Fantastic Four.
And, but I feel like with this movie, you might, not really enjoy it, but you're still compelled to be like, well, where's this going to lead? Like, where's this going?
Like Irreversible.
Yeah, but better.
I feel like this is the way he's describing it, like, because I have no reference to the images or anything, and I feel like last year for me it was like The Substance, like the Demi Moore movie with Demi Moore with the body horror, So I feel like the same sort of anticipation for me, like, oh, I can't wait to see this. I need to see what.
I feel like that was like, I mean, I forget if Giant, but like Barbarian, kind of the same sort of thing where like you were like where like obviously it's like almost like two movies, but it's like you would never expect it to go where it goes.
You get a little curveball with that.
Which I think.
I hope we get a curveball with F My Son.
I know.
I can't wait to see it.
Well, I mean, if you read it, you're not going to know. You know the curves that are going to happen.
I'm in the dock.
Well, I'm in the dock. I've only read it. I've only read it once, so I don't remember.
Perfect.
Well, there's like a few things that I remember, but like I don't remember like the whole. Like Johnny actually had to like remind me of without me referencing it.
Right. Right.
Do you care to talk about the ending at all, or do you want to talk about that, or not really?
I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to reveal too much. I mean, there definitely were.
So, well, I mean, like, I guess the question then is like, I mean, it's. I would think that in most cases, the end is such a tough. It's like, I assume that there was probably multiple endings that you guys thought about before you did it.
Well, I mean, I'll try to speak as general as I can. Like I think there were aspects to the ending in the book, and there were even just sort of general aspects in the book. Is sort of like there's a song that's played in the book that I actually, think it would have been great, but we just couldn't
afford to.
Yeah,
it smells like Teen Spirit.
It was just something that we couldn't afford to use, and so we had to use something more generic. And yeah, same thing with like the ending. There's in the book. I
think it was Van Halen, Jump.
Ooh.
No, you're thinking of Who Raped My Horse. They use the Van Hagar. Dream,
right.
You weren't even kidding. You were.
I always mess those up.
But it's sort of like there's like at the end of the book, there's a person that appears that I don't, and something happens to them that I don't know if we would have been able to get away with that. So we had to like try to rethink, or try to get the spirit of that, but make it a little bit more generic.
Yeah, because I guess that's probably was like one of the challenging things too, is like the idea that you're writing a comic, which essentially is just in 2D, and it's just going to exist, and then not even thinking that someone would want to make it into a movie.
Right.
I mean, do you feel like it was better that you didn't know it was going to be a movie, but or if someone was like, hey, what if someone's like, hey, I want you to write a comic that I'm going to now turn into a movie? Well,
I mean, I just naturally think in terms, I'm a big fan of cinema from like the 70s and 60s and 70s, and I like those types of movies that like really push boundaries and have an enormous amount of violence and crazy sexual insanity going on. And so when I'm writing these stories, I'm thinking on those terms, like, what do I want to see? I'm the audience. Like, what do I like? What do I enjoy? What do I want to see in a movie? And that's the only way I would approach it. Now, if somebody was like, okay, I want you to write a movie and here's the guardrails and this is what you need to do. It has to be PG. I mean, I had to do a pass on the script for the Looney Tunes movie that came out earlier this year, the Porky and Daffy one.
Oh yeah, you worked on the launch of the new Looney Tunes, right?
Yeah, so I worked on the show, and then so I got a chance to write a pass on the script, and I tried to. There's no sun fucking going on, and that like I tried to keep within the boundaries of like this is what a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah, they never had that in Looney Tunes before.
There was one with Yosemite Sam. Just kidding.
Bugs Bunny was dressed up.
He dressed up as his son. So I mean, if you were hiring me and you're sort of like, okay, we have to work within this, within this range, I can do that. But if you're just saying like write something that you think is good, that's what I'm going to do.
Or I guess like, is it in the back of your head now when you're coming up with new comics where you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this exactly like this in case it becomes a movie? Or you're not?
Oh no, I don't.
You don't even really think
because I feel like this is the opportunity to do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Right.
And if somebody was sort of like, okay, I want to make a movie out of this, but
it's like good luck.
but they might just be like, you know what, we're going to do this, but we can't do this little part here, so we're just gonna move that and just plow ahead. And I understand that too, if that's what has to happen. And again, like sometimes it's not just about, what are we allowed to do? Sometimes it's sort of like a legal thing of like, oh, you're talking about this particular person, or you're incorporating this song and we can't afford it. So, you just, when you're making a movie, you have to make some concessions.
Yeah.
Because it's like a group.
Yeah.
It's a group creation. Like everybody's sort of like coming together to make this thing. Whereas like you're making a comic or, even just a piece of art, it's all just you know, and that's why the book is always better than the
What
for the most part.
I know I know stuff, so it's hard to. So I know you weren't there for the entire filming, right? But you were there for what, like a week or something. Yeah. So like I remember I had asked you this, and I mean maybe you could talk about it again. It's like what did it feel like? Because like I mean I imagine this is the first time. I mean apart from maybe a cartoon, this is obviously the first time one of your comic has been turned into like a full motion picture. Right?
Yeah. Well,
and have you had and one other question. Had you ever been on a set before? So I guess that's the two questions.
A movie set? No. No. But yeah, it was incredible. Like, I mean, I did a series for Nickelodeon called Pig Goat Banana Cricket, but that wasn't, and I wrote that was based on a comic that I wrote for Nickelodeon magazine, but I didn't draw it. And so yeah, this was like the first time I've had something made that's like purely my thing. And to see it like, you know, and a lot of times there's, you know, you hear people they want to make something with you and they want to do something and nothing ever happens. So to have something like fully happen, like it's just like fully created and it's out there now, it's great.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's supposed to be just a great feeling to walk in. I know you had like texted me when you like first saw the prosthetics and stuff, and that must have just been such an awesome.
It was amazing,
experience.
like seeing Robert and like he had there was a whole room dedicated to like, you know, putting people's makeup on and seeing Robert Longstreet getting his old lady makeup on and then getting a tour of like all the latex like monster suits and and just thinking like, oh, just like, you know, a couple of years ago I was just doodling this in my room.
Right.
and now here it is. Like it's happening and all these people, it was definitely like I when I went down there, I thought it was going to be a little bit of a smaller operation, but it was a little bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be Todd in a video camera. But there was like there was a crew and there was a cameraman and like there was real people working.
They had a camera and microphones.
Yeah, they had technical equipment and they had like a table of food. It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was like enough to make it look like
you're like, well, they can afford craft service.
Yeah,
or I'd be like, I hope we don't mess this up, man.
Yeah, and there was like actors and actresses who were like saying lines that I wrote. It was it was fantastic.
Yeah, very surreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's awesome. Because I know like a lot of artists that we know. You know, someone like J.J. Villard, who's had like, you know, many popular cartoons, or other people, but like, you know, just the idea of your comic being turned into a movie is like, I don't know, it's just pretty cool because you don't necessarily, you know, I can't think of another comic book artist that it's really happened to, unless it was like, you know, especially not something that's like a superhero thing or something.
Right. I mean, to get something, especially something that's called Fuck My Son.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
like there's all these hurdles like between me and getting the movie made, but it was made.
I think, I mean, not super big. I mean, the superhero ones are easy, right? Like Rob Liefeld and like Deadpool and stuff. And thinking smaller, like maybe Scott Pilgrim was kind of also creative one, but that was still huge, you know?
Yeah, that was like, again, this was like a very independent operation. Yeah. This wasn't like a studio backed thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the fact that it started as like a doodle and then, you know, a Patreon, which you didn't even think you were going to do. And then it, you know, and then Mansion Press publishing it. And it's sort of and then it's someone making a movie. It's really I don't know. It's a fun story. Like even if I didn't know you, and you know, fortunately I've gotten to sort of be there, you know, alongside you as you've experienced it. So it's been cool. But yeah, I think like even, you know, people listening would, you know, probably, and I'm sure there's, you know, plenty of people listening that like wants to make a movie or have tried to pitch a movie. And I think Johnny's it's a good example of like, you know, the people who, you know, unless you're like born into it or you have a lot of money, the only way you get things done is by doing it and like remaining true to yourself And so, I mean, I think if anyone's watching and is an artist, you know, Johnny is like a great testament to somebody. You know, if you look behind him, there's a little drawing of
over his
Ilsa.
left shoulder. Yeah,
yeah, Ilsa, the
Queen of the SS.
Queen of the SS, and
She-Wolf of the SS.
She-Wolf.
Oh yeah, that's
We're dumb. You know, and I was funny because before the show, I told Ron, I was like, "Oh, this is crazy." I was like, "This is one of the first pieces of art I bought from Johnny, actually at a show at Meltdown in 2005." Wow. Which, like, now it's crazy because it never seemed that long ago until now that it's like 20 years ago.
20 años.
Yeah, and so, you know, I guess, you know, like I said, it's a testament to just sort of like being yourself, like doing your art, and, you know, no matter, you know, what kind of challenge is in the way. And not to say that, you know, I mean, look, you know, and I even said this to Johnny, you know, hopefully, you know, now that, you know, Fuck My Son comes out, you know, I think there'll be more people paying attention to Johnny and your art. I hope. I mean,
I hope too.
You know, I mean, that's what you could only wish for, right?
Sure.
You know, so
like you just want just enough people to pay attention to you so you can keep making it. You don't want everyone looking at you, so you start the complaints start rolling in.
We want the film adaptations of Cannibal Holocaust and Rape My Horse too.
Oh, you mean Prison Pit?
Prison Pit?
Oh my gosh.
No, you're thinking of Cannibal Fuckface.
Oh,
which we have which the little we have the little doll of that.
Was there already a movie called Cannibal Holocaust?
Worship.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Yeah, this is see before Fuck My Son
there was Fuckface.
There was Cannibal Fuckface. I always like I try to like change the toys up. I try to change the toys up every week. So I had to make sure there. And then
he doesn't care.
No, I think he would. But what I did was I put, you know, yours is Japanese vinyl.
It is.
And so I put 2 vintage Japanese vinyl next to it.
I'm proud of that toy. I'm glad it's there.
Yeah, no, it's honestly like it's one of the best vinyl toys like brought to life from a comic. Mm-hmm. It's just the size, the scale. It's just like so perfect.
Yeah. It's exactly what I wanted when I envisioned the toy.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, you've seen those ones that are like the superhero ones and stuff, and I feel like they made their bodies like all stocky and weird, you know. So I don't know. It's cool.
I should also say that the other crazy moment was when going down to Austin and. They were doing some filming at this. It was almost like at
InfoWars.
No, I wish it was like this campus, but it was like for like the mentally insane people, but like half of it had been closed down, so there was like several buildings that were empty, and I guess they do a lot of filming in this area. And in this one particular house, or like it was like almost like a dorm type building, I think up on the 2nd floor, that's where they built the whole basement set. So like where the old lady like brings out the son and the lady's tied up and the daughter's in the cage, and they just made it look
Spoiler.
Like it was incredible. Like it was exactly what I envisioned this lady's basement to look like, and to see like these artists coming in and like designing and building the whole basement in this room like from scratch.
I don't know if this has happened to you yet, but you know, like I've worked on a lot of films and commercials and stuff. So, you know, when you see that, or like I remember when I was when I first moved to New York. You know, I was a PA, production assistant, and, you know, I was driving around a truck and doing different commercials. And I remember one of the pickups or something I had to do was at Silver Cup Studios. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't really watched an episode yet, but I remember I went into the stage and I look in this room and it was like a doctor's office or some type of office, and someone was like, "Oh, that's the therapist office that Tony Soprano, because they shot this.
wow.
They shot The Sopranos
right.
at Silver Cup, and so I remember just like not even. Like obviously after the fact, because then I went back and I kind of got into it, when it was on season 5 or 4, and then, went back and watched it. And, that's a series I've watched it, multiple times. But I remember like at that moment, like thinking like, oh man, it's like, and then, they were like, oh yeah, the whole set, the whole like, the kitchen, the, the back of the club, the therapist office, it's all these different,
bing.
Yeah, the bada bing. It's like all these different things inside, one warehouse.
Right.
And so I don't know if you've noticed this yet, but the thing that sucks about like, seeing how the trick is done is that now when I watch movies, there's so many times where I get distracted by like, oh, that's totally like a set.
Right. Yeah.
Like, this is, and then you're like thinking about like the people where they're set up and stuff. And, it's almost like, sometimes I'll be watching something now and it's like almost like you're watching a play. You're like, okay, this is just an act. And, but it also, it's cool that the other thing that you realize too, and, a lot of people, like when you like award shows and stuff, they always try to like, thank the crew and stuff. And you really realize like how much of an art itself is just to make a movie. And yeah, some of these production designers, like, to be able to create this environment that, like you imagined in your head is like, it's a feat in itself.
And also like if the story is strong enough, you start to forget like I'm watching a show, I'm watching a play or a movie. You're absorbed in it, and that's what I was trying to go for. Like I know like most of this movie takes place in this basement. And I think that was also sort of part of when I was thinking about like making a horror movie that was a little bit more stripped down and simpler as opposed to the previous script that I had written.
Which I hope one day gets made, because I've read it. And I know you also met with some very big actors to.
Well, I met with a bunch of people who
met with a bunch of people
who liked it, but many of them were just kind of like, nobody wants to touch this.
I don't know. Maybe
the tide is turning.
Yeah, I think it might be time to get that script off.
Well,
call some people and say, hey, look. We're living in a different world right now. It's 2025,
Well, I feel like movies in general are in a pretty bad state. So it just seems weird to me that like, why wouldn't you want to take a chance and try to make something that might possibly get people excited?
Yeah.
I think this is the right time because like recently they've adapted like some of those, like wasn't there like a Winnie the Pooh horror film, right? They're starting to take these
Five Nights at Freddy's, and
they're starting to take these cutesy like
I think there's like a horror
properties.
Popeye coming out.
Stuff like that. So
well, that's all this. That's like all the like IPs that are like
the copyright is running out.
The copyright's running out.
Right,
so now you can
right. But I just
there's
feel
like a
like
Steamboat Willie one. It's
Okay,
like the guy who played, I think, Art the Clown from Terrifier is like playing this like satanic Steamboat Willie or something.
Who's watching these?
I'll watch it.
Horror fans on like
Yeah,
Shudder, like.
But
did
you watch the Winnie the Pooh one?
No,
Which one did you watch then?
I did. I just know that they're out. I haven't. I mean,
I haven't
wish
watched
I could,
any of them.
I feel like a lot. Like I don't.
You're like, I'll watch them. Did you watch it? No.
No, I'm just saying. I feel like it's a good time for these movies to be out. Following.
Also, too, like
those.
Maybe it should also like everyone's all like, everyone's making the same shit. Like no one's making anything new. It's like, well, maybe you're not looking at the right places. Go to your local comic book shop.
They keep just like making more and more Stephen King movies over and over again. It's just like, doesn't anybody else write any horror stories? Like, come on, like there's got to be something else out there.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like with the streaming platforms, like with Shudder, you know, like there's an entire streaming service dedicated to like horror movies, and they have a lot of indie ones and stuff. But they don't have that for like other genres of film. Like there's not a platform that's all action movies or all, you know, whatever dramas or romance, you know. So there's a lot of indie steam, you know, a lot of gas, juice, a lot of sauce behind, you know, indie horror. I'm just saying, you know,
no, you're not.
It's a good
you're
time.
Not wrong.
No,
I know. I
just finally watched Weapons the other night, but I'd say it's a little more mainstream, right?
Yeah. What was that like art horror, like, you know, the A24 type, you know, like art horror and like, you know, I don't know if there was any like body gore or whatever. You know?
I feel like that's a subgenre, like the A24 stuff, where every movie just has to be one word. Right?
Yeah.
Like it would just be like yours would just be like fuck.
The sun.
Sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My.
I was just going through all the one word titles. I was like, he's right.
You know, right.
They are.
Yeah, sorta, right?
Yeah, no, like some of my favorite when I go down to like Hereditary, Midsummer, right? Even like
Terrifier,
Barbarian.
Oh God,
Weapons.
Terrifier. Those movies. Like I watched the third one. It's so disgusting.
I still haven't seen the third one, but the second one was really good.
The third one is like some of the most disgusting.
But I mean, that's
seen.
the star of the movie. Like you're not going to the movie because it has like Shia LaBeouf in it. You're going
and I feel
like crazy, inventive, practical gore in it.
Well, and I think even the third one, I think Tom Savini was involved.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it may. I mean, dude, you should. I mean, if it's like as a gore film, I guess in that genre, like that you know grindhouse genre,
it's very impressive.
It's impressive, and it's really really gross. Like, you know, I grew up like, you know, one of my favorite, you know, horror movies like ever was the original Dawn of the Dead.
Great.
But I would still like, you know, there was that scene in the beginning where they're trying to like clear out the apartment complex, and the guy like bites into her, you know, and it was like, it was gross, but it was like, it was so crazy because I could never even imagine that. And I was just like, oh, like it was just this like kind of just, you know, it was just great.
I love that opening sequence because it's sort of like the movie. I remember when I saw it, my uncle just made a VHS burn of it, and the movie starts, and it's like you literally just like jump into that moment, and I kept sort of thinking like I think I missed. Like I feel like I missed like the first 10 minutes or something.
Record it
like
right?
you didn't record it right, and I'm like, there's something missing here. But that's just the way it is. You just jump right into this SWAT team invading this tenement, and
that's like the first scene.
And then like all these zombies come pouring out of the apartment buildings, and that one scene where like the zombie
like,
guys sort of she sees her husband or brother, and he just like takes a big chomp out of her neck. And I had never seen anything like that. I was just like, holy shit.
And that's why I say, like, I think, you know, it's like watching, like, you know, that's classic Tom Savini, you know, and that's like early Tom Savini. So to see him still working now and like what they're able to accomplish, because, you know, that was the one thing I loved about that Dawn of the Dead was that they were actually trying to make it look like, I mean, the blood was really red,
right?
You know, and there was things where like, you know, the zombies were like obviously wearing
painted
makeup, painted blue and shit. But like the gore,
the
like,
attention to detail in the gore, like with the machete in the guy's head, and the guy getting his head chopped off by the helicopter.
Yeah. Isn't there a scene too where like guy puts like a screwdriver in his head and it's just like, you know, bleeding?
There's amazing effects in that one.
Yeah.
And it's just so even if it didn't have the effects.
I feel like I've seen parts of it. Yeah.
You should see it. It's
what year was that, like
73?
Oh, 73?
Was it? Mid 70s. Yeah, we'll say 73, 70.
I thought it was like early to mid 70s.
Huh. I thought it was like, really? Wow.
Well, we got the right decade.
I don't know. I just thought like malls were closer to the 80s. Like I thought that's why it was like 77, 78.
I don't know. Because I remember I do remember as a kid in the 70s going to malls. and the stores in the Monroeville Mall are very 70s.
Yeah, so you're right. So it's early, yeah.
So there's actually like a gun store in the mall.
Right.
Like there was no gun stores in the mall in
I always love that music. They're like,
oh, it's terrific. Goblin.
Is that what it is? Is that Goblin? I never even knew that. I just thought I was like that when that music would start. I was always get like super hype because they're just like,
give it to me one more time on the camera.
It's like. It's just like because they're like, you know, it's like the scene like you want where like it's the montage of them, you know, they finally go into the gun shop, they're like breaking the glass, you know, they got like straps of bullets, you know, they're putting them in, you know, so because you're like, oh, now they're really gonna like.
That's interesting because I feel like I'm more familiar with the remake of it and like no gun store in the mall. I mean, they're still in the mall, but you know,
there's good shit in the new one, in the remake, I guess.
That Mekhi Phifer defending his zombie baby child.
Yeah, when he's got this.
Oh yeah.
That's probably the most memorable part. It's the zombie birth.
I think I told Johnny once when I first moved to New York and Lisa was living more like downtown Brooklyn. There was the theater like in Atlantic Avenue, and let's just say the people like would get rowdy. And we didn't really know, but we started seeing some movies there. I remember seeing Dawn of the Dead. And I remember, like, you know, when what was the guy's name?
Mekhi Phifer.
Mekhi Phifer. Yeah, like when he got on the screen, like the women were like, that's my chocolate man. You know, and like hooting and hollering. And then I remember for a fact, like, you know, there was people just yelling and screaming. And I remember at the time it was when like Dave Chappelle had just come on. And there were people in the theater going like, what? Okay. And people were like, shut the fuck up, you shut the fuck up. But I remember like the best scene was like the same girls that are behind me, just like when he came on the screen. Then when he had the baby, the zombie baby, he goes, that's what you get for fucking a white bitch.
Oh no. That's funny.
That's the takeaway.
That was the takeaway. She's like, that's what you get for fucking a white bitch. I was like, oh, man, it's true. It's so true.
Some movies need to be seen with some need to be seen with an audience.
Saying what we're all terrific. Thinking.
Yeah. Well, that was like, you know, it's funny because I'm gonna sound like, okay, I watched. I've never played Fortnite. I don't have like any nephew. Like I don't know any kids. But I saw the Fortnite movie.
There's a Fortnite movie?
There's a Fortnite movie, and it's really good.
Oh, the Jack Black one.
It's with Jack Black.
I thought that was Minecraft.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Minecraft. Jesus.
I'm like, what the fuck is the Fortnite movie?
No, not Fortnite. Minecraft.
Okay.
So I didn't know what Minecraft was, but I remember the only thing I'd remembered was when like it first come out and then all the kids were going crazy. Yeah, they're like chicken jockey. Yeah. And like I didn't even know what it was, but then like when I saw the kids going crazy, I was like, oh man, that's like so fun and awesome. Like I wish I was. And then even when I turned it on in like the living room, it was just like I was like I couldn't wait for that moment.
You did see with a crowd though.
No, I just saw it at my house, but I was just like, when they were like,
a crowd of children.
No. Oh, dude. Never mind. No, I was just going to say, I remember like when like Harry Potter 3 came out, like, cause like I got really into Harry Potter. Like I was really into it. And I remember when the new one had come out, like Lisa was into it too. And we bought like, you know, like 10 a.m. the first day. Right. And then she couldn't go, and I'm literally sitting there, and it's like all little kids because it's Harry Potter. And I mean, you know, and it was funny because I was like, and not only was I just like trying to like, okay, I can't, you know, but then it was like, I was also really into it. So I'm like getting excited, but anyways,
good memories, good times.
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
Now we just watch movies in our own rooms
with our own little kids.
Not this Friday though. This Friday.
No, this Friday it's going to be a real deal movie theater. 10:15.
Bring the kids.
Well, isn't it rated R?
Yeah.
So kids aren't even allowed.
Bring
your kids. Try to get them laid.
Can you go to an R movie with? Can you go to an R movie with your parents?
Yeah, of course.
Like even if you're like 8?
Yeah.
So.
I did all the time.
Did you?
Oh yeah. Oh, when I was 5. And even younger.
Yeah,
all
I'm
the
trying
time.
to think if I had ever seen an army.
Yeah,
movie.
if you can bring your parents.
I remember
yeah.
seeing my parents taking me to see Stripes when it came out. So that's like 1980 or 81. So I was like 10.
Dude, when I was like 3 or 4, my dad took me to see like Death Wish 2. Death Wish 2. Yeah.
Death Wish 2.
I saw Death Wish 1.
That's like one of the.
Yeah.
When you
like,
were 4?
When I was like 3 or 4, yeah, I remember covering my eyes.
That was like the roughest. That's like the roughest of all the Death Wishes.
I know.
Wow.
I remember like seeing scenes and like as an adult seeing them again. And like I saw that as a kid. And my dad would tell me like, oh, like covering my eyes because I was scared. And he's like, oh, those are bad men. They like to touch women's butts and stuff. Because you don't understand the concept, you know. But my dad put it in a way where I was
gang like scared the fuck out of me for like years after. Like the guy with the mullet and the buzz.
Oh yeah.
He was
Yeah,
scary.
I haven't seen that in so many
I think
years.
like thinking back, it was like Lawrence Fishburne was in one.
He was one of the gang.
And the other one was
it was back when like
the Jurassic
movies
Park guy.
when movies would have like
Jeff Goldblum.
bad gangs. Mm-hmm. Jeff Goldblum's in Death Wish 1.
Yeah, right.
And the gangs would be multicultural. There'd be the black guy, the Puerto Rican guy, the white guy, the Asian guy. Like it was like a multicultural gang.
There was no Asian gang.
And so it was like a very fantastical idea.
Yeah.
That was like, did you? I think we talked about it a few years ago. Like, remember that movie Enemy Territory?
Oh yeah.
That was a good one. That
with
was like,
with the Candyman.
Yeah, with the Candyman and
Jan Michael Vincent.
Yeah,
and the dude from Ghostbusters, the dude that sang Ray Parker Jr.
Ray Parker Jr.
Who sang the Ghostbusters song, and
he was also in Enemy Territory.
Yeah, they're all there. That's good.
Yeah, it was funny because I remember I had made a patch like. At that time, I was making little patches, and I remember I made a patch that said "Beware the vampires." And then I recently like found some stock of old patches, so it made me like. But yeah, like if you hadn't seen it, it's like a 1980s like New York City, and these guys get stuck in this building that's like run by this like gang called the Vampires. Wow. But it's like it has
enemy territory,
and it's written by Andy Kevin Walker, who wrote 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, it's if you like that, because it's just the style, you know, it's just so gritty.
Yeah,
it's like early New York.
That was like one of his first movies that he wrote, I think, Enemy Territory.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, those are always the gang, the fun, like the bad dudes. I'm trying to think.
For me, it's always like when the Warriors come to mind, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, same like Warriors too, sort of like the multicultural gang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is totally fantastical now. Doesn't exist.
Well, and they were scary too, because like, you know, if you look at some of those like, you know, like the Puerto Rican gangs or like black gangs or, you know, just multicultural from like, you know, the 70s and 80s and in New York City, like those dudes just like look like. You know, it's like that movie, like Night of the Juggler.
Oh,
remember that
it's a
one?
great one too.
And so it's like when they, you know, when he runs into that like, you know, like Puerto Rican Spanish gang up in Harlem, it's like, you know, if you see photos, because remember, you know, they would like, you know, they were like, they'd put like swastikas and, you know, just like crazy stuff, like spiked bats and all this like crazy stuff where you're just like, man, like that period, like those guys, just looking at old photos, I can imagine if you were, you know, an adult during that time and you like, that's scary to think about, like getting just stuck somewhere.
Being a kid and watching those films, that shit probably scared me more than like, you know, Dracula or Chucky or Frankenstein.
Yeah, because you could really imagine like somebody coming up to you and like opening a switchblade and just like sticking you in the gut.
Yeah, like that shit was scarier.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Death Wish, Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Poltergeist.
It was real. Yeah, Poltergeist 3.
Oh man. Well, that's our hour.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I mean, unless Johnny has anything else to say, I mean,
I don't know. Beyondfest Friday.
Yeah.
Fuck my son. 10.
We welcome you to
10-ish o'clock.
Come to Beyondfest, where we welcome you to fuck my son.
I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm feeling like if people aren't like from Los Angeles, maybe they don't know as much about Beyondfest. You know, I mean,
I don't even know much about.
I mean,
Beyond
I feel like
Fest.
Beyondfest is like an annual like film fest, like honoring like I guess it's geared towards like horror movies.
Yeah, it's definitely genre oriented,
right?
And in past years they've had like David Cronenberg come and this year.
Rob Zombie, Devil's Rejects, I think is the big one
this year.
Yeah, I feel like that was the one.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Miko Kaji from Female Prisoner Scorpion and Lady Snowblood is. I just learned today that she's going to be next week. I think she's going to be having. She's in town and she's going to be. They're showing these films.
Now I'm like dumb because I think my friend Nathan Cabrera did a lot of the flyers and stuff. I think because don't they have like a Critters?
Yeah, it sounds. Yeah, that sounds right. I mean,
I don't know.
Unless sounds it's something like else. It could be something else.
They show so many
Critters
movies,
Fest.
But there's some ones that stood
Critters
out. Like
Con.
I saw like Devil's Rejects and like Rob Zombie's going to make an appearance, maybe do a Q&A or something.
I want to be Rob Zombie's apprentice.
Yeah, me too.
That might have passed already. I don't know because I'm not even sure about the dates and stuff. But this Friday for sure. Friday at 10 p.m. Do we know the theater that it's at?
I think it's the Egyptian.
Is it really?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's like the Egyptian theater.
So
like
I mean,
the one on
the Egyptian Magician Theater.
Get your
damn.
bangles
Now I'm
on
scared.
and
Hollywood
walk
Boulevard's
like an Egyptian.
scary now.
Don't be scared.
That's part of the experience.
All right. Well, yeah. So we'll put it. Just check on the. We'll put all the information about Johnny Ryan. How do people? How do people find you, Johnny? I know it's a little difficult these days.
Yeah, I know. I keep losing my Instagram account. But I have an Instagram account now is Wicked Retarded.
Spelled WCKD
RTRDD.
We'll give you the link. Oh,
yeah, we'll give you the link.
And I got to switch out all the other links that we put for all the episodes where we credited him for the. Get rid of that Johnny Ryan one or whatever it was.
Which one?
My previous. It's not my original one. That was my third account.
Oh yeah, right.
So, right.
But my previous account, like I got locked out and it won't let me back in, so I had to start a new account.
We'll give you all the information. Remember to like and subscribe. And leave a comment. Let us know what you think about.
Was there anybody who commented?
Yeah, nobody commented. So
no. Just get at us if you hear us. Just get at us.
Yeah,
somehow.
The first person to DM the Funshop podcast Instagram and with something funny.
Yeah, get to us any way you can. YouTube, Instagram, however you know how. Get to us and say, give me the tickets, and we'll get you the tickets if you're around here. So
we want to thanks for being on the show, Johnny.
Thank you so much, Johnny Ryan.
Yeah.
Take care, guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Peace.